So, welcome back to another episode of the Great Area Podcast. I'm your host, Machiza Bawana, here with my co-host TJ. And what's going on, man?
Not much, man. How was your Christmas, bro?
Yeah, it was pretty good, man. What about you?
It was good, man. I got the COVID. I think I told you that. But,
Okay.
Other than that, it was pretty good. Yeah, we couldn't really have it. You know,
So how
I got
long
a big
did you?
family, so we couldn't really.
Yeah. So how did you get it?
I had I had a temp job for a while where I worked at a factory, and they think I'm the one that got it. I was staying with my parents at the time for Christmas, and they think I'm the one that got it because I got this temp job. And I wore my mask the whole fucking time. But, if you go into the break area and stuff like that, first thing people do is rip their mask off.
In the break area?
Yeah, in the break area. So even though I had mine on, nobody else did. And I'm working in close quarters with these people that anytime they want to talk, you take your mask down. Because it's loud anyway, and it's hard to hear people. So I think I probably got it. But I don't know. But anyway, so what happened was for about 7 days, it kind of felt like you had a hangover. Like you lost your appetite, couldn't smell or taste. And I'm just now getting over that. Couldn't smell or taste. Kind of have a fogginess, not really a headache, but like a really slight headache or fogginess. And you're just exhausted. Like just exhausted the whole time. I didn't have any respiratory issues, so that was cool.
But we got China to thank for that.
Yep, it's all China's fault.
Yeah. Now, well, speaking of that, that was one of the topics I wanted to kind of touch on today. We'll spend a few minutes on each subject. It's the whole anti-mask people. Now, like you were saying before, we talked about this before. Even if it just now, Dr. Fauci came out and said, "Hey, we don't need masks." He did say that before. Then he said that we do need masks and all this other stuff. We know he flip-flops, but let's just say it helps prevent the spread by 20%. I'm good with that because I don't want to get it. And you didn't want to get it either, right? You recover, but you still don't want to be sick, right?
Right.
But the thing is, what I've noticed about what I was going to say.
I'm just going to
go ahead.
I'm just going to say real quick, I agree with you. Is like, if it's something that we don't know, no matter if it's not that intense for most people, it could be intense for somebody that you come in contact with, and you cannot show symptoms. But it's like anything else in life. Like if you're a football player, and like some pair of shoes make you 10% faster, or 5% or even 2% faster, you're going to take that, right? So even if it's only 20%, that's better than nothing.
Right.
Right. Now you have an 80% chance instead of 100.
Right. And, like I said, on top of that, you just don't want to get sick no matter what the recovery rate is. The thing is, what I continue to see, though, is that these anti-mask people are really just, arrogant and ignorant a lot of times, and they're dangerous because a lot of them, what I've noticed, they're in public places and they're coughing and sneezing without even covering their mouth. You know what I'm saying? So it's one thing to say, well, it's not that big of a deal. It's another thing to be negligent and irresponsible and just coughing into the air. And it's almost like, okay, well, you can see how it spreads.
Yeah, do you think a person with no home training who does that really understands how a mask works? It's like,
but it's almost
like, if I cough into the air, it came up so quick that I didn't have time to put my elbow up.
Yeah, sometimes that happens. But I was in one place and the person just kept doing it. He would just cough, and I've seen it. I've seen it in other places too. I've seen it even with people with masks where they just cough. They just cough like, like what the fuck, like sickly motherfuckers. Like, no wonder this shit is spreading. Like
I bet everybody in the house.
It's ridiculous. And like I said, it's a measure of arrogance and ignorance because these people they so nonchalant with it, and they'll argue with you about it, but they're just going off of what they heard somebody else say. It's not like they have any real firsthand scientific knowledge about it. They're just going off of what they hear, and they agree with it. It sounds good to them. Somebody they like, that said it, and they just going along with it. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day,
Absolutely.
they sickly as hell, and they negligent. Like I said, the survival rate. I get that the survival rate is high, but nobody wants to get sick. And it can be the cold. It can be just a regular cold, but people, you can see how it spreads when you got to argue with people about covering their mouths, and it's ridiculous. Like,
you can work.
I just want to get your thoughts on it.
You can work with a regular cold. We talked about this a lot, and I don't think there's any, because I can understand it really bugs you, but like, why are you trying to find logic in people that don't even know how to cover their mouths? I'm
not trying to find logic. It's just observation. Just observation.
Yeah. Okay. So like, I think that people go into, we beat this one to death, I think, with the COVID, because people who go into Walmart think they have a right to go in there to do what they want. Like, well, no, that's a private place. I know it's an American institution, but it's not like the embassy.
Right.
You don't have a right to be there. It's not like a public park.
Right.
So if they're like, hey, you to wear a mask in here, you get out. You're trying to infringe on my rights. No, we're just saying we can refuse your right to shop here.
Yeah.
Or we could exercise our right to refuse, and that's the arrogance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a friend tell me
too often
they don't get it and they don't want to get it. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's that's the arrogance part. Is we're so used to having what we want in America. I still think it's the greatest country in the world, but because you see how other countries live and what kind of freedoms they don't have. But because of that, we've become kind of spoiled and lazy in our thinking, and that can get dangerous.
Well, I think Americans always have been lazy in their thinking. When you really think about it, I mean, you have people out here that still think people are better than somebody else because of the color of their skin, when the fact of the matter is, the people that they hate are the first people, and the people that they hate might have an accomplishment that they don't have, and they living vicariously through what another white person did when they have no accomplishments. So I don't think people don't want to think. I think we overestimate how much people want to think, and we underestimate how many people don't think. You know what I'm saying? If people actually did think, we wouldn't have probably half of the issues we have in this country and this world. So
I always assume that people have a thought process like maybe I do, where I try to be objective. Right, I try to take a step back and kind of look, and I always think everybody else does that too. But it became really evident in this last 4 years that it's a lot more prevalent than I thought it was.
Well, people aren't objective.
A lot more prevalent.
Yeah, most people aren't objective. Yeah.
Hey, not 100% of the time.
Yeah. Yeah, me either. But some people are like really opposed to being objective because, like I said, a lot of people's belief is tied to their self-esteem. So if you challenge their belief, you challenge their whole belief in themselves. So they'll just continue to believe a lie. You talk about objectiveness, right? So the anti-maskers, and you talk about what people do in these stores, these are the same people that say respect authority, respect the police, but they can't even respect a mask rule. So that just shows you people aren't really objective, right? So, because really they disobeying the law. You know what I'm saying? So when they say, hey, don't resist, don't do all this and all that, you see people laying down in the middle of the store. You see people making a scene fighting over a mask. But these same people will say, "Oh, well, obey the law. Don't disrespect the police. Respect the police." But they are blind to their own hypocrisy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I'll agree with that. Yeah, absolutely. One thing I did want to talk. I do have one topic to bring to the table. Is did you see this dude get hit with the Twisted Tea can?
With the what?
Have you seen this? With the Twisted Tea can, you know what Twisted Tea is?
No, I'll check it out right now while you're looking at it. Twisted. Where is this at?
Just look up dude gets hit with Twisted Tea can.
Maybe I did see this. So go ahead while I'm looking it up.
What it is?
Yeah, because it's coming up right now. It already.
What it is this?
I did see this. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, the white dude, and everybody's sitting there saying he's racist. He's racist. I'm like, yeah, he's not necessarily racist. It's just that he has been around too many black people who let him say that kind of stuff around them. or, you know, maybe use that word in mixed company, you know.
Fuck your mama, fuck my mama. Wow.
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah. And
Go ahead.
And he keeps dropping the N-word, but he, you know, he's doing it like they're friends or something, like he's black, right? And the other dude was like, man, don't call me that.
Yeah. Well, he told him don't call him that, so it's disrespect.
Yeah. So, you know, whether he's racist or not, you know, he thinks he's too down, and then someone's like, hey, stop doing that to me, and then he gets busted across the face with a fucking Twisted Tea can. Bust that thing open. Run across.
Yeah. But it just goes to the low self-esteem of the black people around this white guy that will let him even say that stuff, because, you know, white people like that are the first ones that are going to snitch, and it's really just an act, right? You can be a white person and be just yourself. You know what I'm saying? If I go around and saying acting white, whatever that is, you know what I'm saying? Whatever you want to consider that to be. You know it's the act, right? You know what I'm saying? And it's just an act. If he get pulled over by the police,
it's code switching.
Code switching.
So code switching is like, you know, if you go to a call center job and you put on like a white voice, or if you're you're around a black you're around a black dude, like you start talking different.
Right.
Yeah, it's code switching.
Right.
And people do it. But some people go like too far with it. Like, it's a natural human thing to want to do. Especially if you're trying to, you know, create some kind of relationship, whether short-term, long-term, or whatever, whether it be sales or whatever it is, what you want to do. If you decide you want to get along with this person, you do kind of, like, if you go into the South, like, you might have a little twang, you know, something like that. Like, it just kind of happens automatically sometimes. But then other people take it too far.
Yeah, this guy was taking it too far. It's a difference between trying to build rapport and relate to somebody, and trying to mock and put on an act, which is what this guy's doing. And most white people that do that are putting on an act. Yeah, but I did see this, and the guy warned you. When somebody continues to say nigga, and he say, hey, I don't want to be called a nigga, and he has to understand that, you know, some people ain't gonna respond kindly to being called that, you know, even by a black person. So when he continued to say it was a sign of disrespect. And sometimes that, you know, from what I see, in my opinion, he thought he can push the line, and he got knocked upside the head. And in, you know, pretty much predictable fashion, he tried to act like the victim afterwards once he got popped upside the head, and, you know, he didn't really do anything.
Oh, yeah, you got me this time. Yeah, you're still my brother. No. No, you're stupid. So what I was trying to, like, I guess the point I wanted to get to is, like, you know, that doesn't necessarily make a guy racist. You know, I believe, like, you know, we talked about the whole thing. It's really too complicated.
No, that don't mean he's not racist either, though. But go ahead.
It doesn't mean he's not. He probably does hang around a lot of black people. But whose fault is? Well, number one, it is his fault, because a grown man asked him to stop doing something.
Yeah.
Repeatedly. And the guy wasn't going to hit him until, you know, he kicked the can when the guy dropped the can. But does a little of that blame fall on the black people he hangs around?
I think so. What about you?
For letting them. Yeah, absolutely. But you don't say it in mixed company. You know, you just don't say it in mixed company, because, like, one of the things that irks me the most, it's especially young kids, because I did it when I was a young kid. Like, I used to sing it in songs, right? And my friends would let me. They didn't care. And I never used it when I was talking to them. But I never used it when I was talking to them. And it's not like we did it, like, every day we would go out and, like, listen to the song with the most N-words in it. It would happen pretty rarely. But, you know, when I got older, you know, someone just checked me on it. They were like, look, not even in the song, man. I was like, oh, okay. My fault. And I haven't done it since. Like, I literally have not done it since.
So what do you do when it's in a song then, if you like rap music? What did they ever tell you what the proper protocol was? You just stop whenever it comes up? Do you say it in your head and you just don't say it out loud if you're singing along with it? Is that what it is?
And more in my head, yeah. I mean, obviously I say every word in my head, but If I say anything out loud, I just say brother. So it's like, let's say take Juicy, Biggie Smalls, and if you don't know, now you know, brother. I just don't say that word. And if it's a song that's like every other word's the N word, I just don't say it. Because you got to slip up. That's why you don't use it. You don't let white people use it, because what's going to happen is they're going to go around thinking it's okay, thinking they're more down than they are. Well, you can never be that down, is what I'm saying, if you're white. I don't think you can ever be that down.
Yeah,
So,
well, some black people got to not let, I guess, I think some black people, for some reason, backwards, slave-minded black people, mind you, think it's cool for white people to say that and be down and accept their culture. You know what I'm saying?
I guess.
As opposed to holding your culture sacred. All these other cultures hold their culture sacred. You know what I'm saying?
Right. We're not
they damn
allowed
near
to go to
won't
Mecca,
let you in.
Huh?
Huh?
They won't let you in Mecca. You can't
They'll
go to
let
Mecca.
you in Mecca. They'll let you in Mecca.
No, you're not allowed to go to Mecca
Muslim.
unless you're.
Yeah.
No, you have to be a Muslim. You have to be a Muslim.
I mean, do you really want to go if you're not Muslim?
No, not really.
I
think it'd be cool to see, honestly.
It's just like being like, oh, well, you can't come into a place. Well, I don't want to go anyway. That's a difference. You know what I'm saying? That's the difference if I can't go into a place I don't want to go into anyway. But
that's where privilege comes from, because white people get mad when you tell them they can't do something because no one's ever told them no. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I get that.
Like that's what white people get mad, and I think they don't do it on purpose, but they get mad like, you can't tell me not to do that. I can say it if I want to. This is America. I'm like, well, you can, but you might get smacked in the face.
Consequences, yeah.
There's consequences.
And
like people don't like you doing shit.
And then the opposite end of the spectrum, black people are accepting of the word no.
Too. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Is like that's why you shouldn't stay in a mixed company, because I see these kids, it's especially young people, because no one, because they hang around other young people who maybe don't understand what that word means and let white people say it and stuff like that.
They know what the word.
They think it's just they just think it's the coolest thing in the world. Like,
they think it's the coolest thing in the world because they have such low self-esteem that a white person or any other group of people will want to.
White people think it's the coolest thing in the world because they're like, oh, I'm more down than you because they let me say the N-word. It's like, no, it's your friend's an idiot.
That. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
And it's a jab. It's also like a jab that's, I can say this, and you ain't going to do nothing about it, or they won't do anything about it. It's a way to get over also. You know what I'm saying? You know how some of these races are, man. You know how some of these races are.
It's a cover. It's like a cover. Yeah.
Yeah, Yeah, what's up, my nigga? I was going to say nigger.
It's like, no, man, I'll never rat on you. Then you take John and you put him in front of the detective. He's like, yes, sir, whatever you want to know, it wasn't me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know. But with the black people, what I was saying though, with the black people, some have such low self-esteem and not enough historical references about their own culture that they willing to let other people into their culture, and even if it means disrespecting them, as long as you accept me and accept my culture and give them a pat on the head and say, you know what, this is cool. That's my take on it.
Because I had to let you do something cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, one other thing I wanted to talk about is the Christmas just passed. We were talking about that. And one thing I noticed is the Happy Holidays and the Merry Christmas, right? I noticed that some white people were it was like two groups of white people what I seen. Well, maybe three groups, but I'm just narrowing down to two groups. One group was reluctant to say Merry Christmas and, didn't know what to say, and it would just say Happy Holidays. And then there was the other group that was kind of like defiantly saying Merry Christmas. So I was kind of mixed on this. You shouldn't be afraid to say Merry Christmas. Christmas is like an American tradition. You know,
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I guess.
yeah, it is. I mean, Christmas is American tradition. We know we put up our trees and you know do the whole Santa Claus thing and the presents and stuff like that. That's an American thing, but since the we have an influx of immigrants and political correctness, now it's Happy Holidays, and it seems like people don't know what to say without offending people. But then, like I said, you have the other group that they don't care about offending people, and they just say Merry Christmas, not even knowing if you celebrate Christmas or not. So, what are your thoughts on that? And it's almost like I'm going to say it anyway, Merry Christmas. So what are your thoughts on that?
I think you should be able to say whatever you want to say. This is kind of just like, going up to someone assuming their gender because they look like a man and they say they want to be called a woman.
Assuming their gender?
Okay, that's cool. That's what they call it, is assuming their gender. But anyway, so you go up to them, you call them a man. That's what they call it. Just listen. So you call them a man and they're like, no, I want to be called a woman. Right? Yeah, you're going to have to look it up. Call it assuming gender. You shouldn't assume someone's gender, right?
Thought police.
And that's fine with me. That's fine with me. It's like you want to be called a woman, that's fine. But, don't come at me like I'm fucking crazy, right?
So can you fight
the same thing
a woman? So we'll go. I'm gonna let you prove your point and say your point, and then I'm gonna ask you a question.
I'm gonna go through the whole. I'm gonna go through the whole
go
thing
ahead.
real quick. So with Merry Christmas, it's like people get real defiant because like, this is a Christian country. Well, it wasn't founded to be a Christian country. We didn't put, in God we trust on any currency until late in the game. So it wasn't supposed to be like that. It's actually supposed to be for everybody. It was built on religious freedom. So if you say Happy Holidays, that's just because you don't want to hear someone's mouth. But if you go out there and it's like, no, it's Merry Christmas. Like if I was Muslim, I'd be pissed at someone for yelling at me saying it's Merry Christmas. I'd be like, well, I don't celebrate that, dude. So don't yell at me about it. So
yeah, what if the Muslims say whatever they holiday is, if they celebrate holidays like that? Ramadan.
Came up to me
I know they got Ramadan.
Yeah, if someone came up to me and was like Happy Kwanzaa.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah, well, obviously they wouldn't do that. But if they were like, hey, man, Happy Hanukkah, I'm like, oh, no, I'm Christian, man, but I appreciate it.
Yeah. So is there a right or wrong way to kind of address it when people, years ago, you could just assume that everybody celebrated Christmas.
It's not something you should assume. I mean, we as Christians, we're used to it. And we're used to being, I'm assuming you're a Christian, correct? Right?
No.
Or you celebrate Christmas. How about that?
You don't have to celebrate. You don't have to be, yeah.
Okay.
What does Santa Claus?
What did you say?
I said, what does Santa Claus have to do with Jesus Christ?
I mean, it's a Christian holiday. Yeah. I mean, it's been commercialized. But yeah, it's a Christian holiday.
So.
I mean, I'm for real. It's a Christian holiday. It's not like an American holiday.
Christmas is a culturally American holiday for the most part. It's not even religious. Nobody talks about, oh my God, it's Jesus' birthday. People worry about presents and the Christmas tree and lights. None of that stuff has anything to do with Bethlehem and all this other stuff. They didn't even have those kind of trees in that climate. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
this is like an amalgamation of different holidays and traditions from different cultures.
It
is commercialized, yes.
And that's the part I think that happens where you think it's not Christian. I mean, it is a Christian holiday. It is 100% a Christian holiday, but it's been so far removed from that people who aren't even Christians celebrate it because, and I can see what you're saying, it's become like an American holiday. Like, you're Jewish and you don't really celebrate, you don't really go to a temple or whatever, and all your kids' friends are having Christmas, you go, fuck it up, let's have Christmas. I get that.
I know Muslims that celebrate Christmas.
Really?
Yes. Christmas is not really, Christmas is not really, Christmas tree and everything. Christmas is not really a religious holiday. If you really think about it, Christmas is not really a religious holiday. the backdrop is Jesus Christ, just to kind of, the hypocrisy about it. But really, like you said, it's a commercialized holiday, but culturally it's it's just something we do as Americans to, stimulate the economy, and we have our cartoons that go along with it. We got our traditions to go along with it. For real. Mistletoe on how to do it with Jesus Christ, and like I said, the Christmas tree and the lights and snowman and all this other stuff, Santa Claus. Like, this don't have nothing to do with Jesus Christ, the Yuletide law. This is like pagan traditions and different things amalgamated together. And, it was something we came up with in America. And, it kind of spread and was commercialized. And, this is like our thing. You know what I'm saying?
I think the way I would put it, and I know you're not putting it this way necessarily, is the way I would put it from what I'm hearing from you is that basically it got perverted into being a commercialized kind of seasonal American holiday from what it initially was.
Yeah.
Because they've been having Christmas trees for a long time. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I
can agree with that. I can agree with that. Yeah. Like, is it, is it a Christian holiday? Yeah. Has it become maybe what you're saying? Maybe. Yeah, I can agree with that.
Oh, it has, because like
100%.
I said, people that aren't even Christian celebrate Christmas. You know what I'm saying? People that aren't Christian celebrate Christmas, man. Well, how many songs are about Jesus Christ on Christmas? It's mostly snowman, all this other stuff. I mean, it's just like when people talk about they came over here to escape religious prosecution or persecution. That's a lot too. We have a lot of fantasy and fairy tale in our stories. I guess because people can't handle the truth, or to stop people from digging deep, or whatever the reason is, just to deceive people. But we have a lot of lies in our origin stories. But the Christmas is definitely really not a Christian holiday. Or you can say, I hope I'm kind of explaining that correctly. Like, you don't have to be a Christian to celebrate Christmas. Maybe that'd be the correct way to say it, because the Christmas tree has nothing to do with Jesus. So when I think of Christmas, I don't think of Jesus Christ, really. I might see a nativity scene or something like that, but what I'm thinking about is Santa Claus. I'm thinking about the Christmas spirit, which is something that is real. But I'm thinking about Santa Claus. That seems like far fetched. But the Christmas spirit and stuff like that is definitely real. Now, I do see where, especially this year, seemed a little bit different. But for sure, it could have been good because of everything being shut down. I did see some people with lights, but it just seemed different, at least for me. And I heard other people say that too. So. I don't know. It just seemed different this year.
Yeah, for us it was definitely, because, like I said, normally we have 20 people in the house, and we only had 3. So,
Yeah, that sucks.
That's what it is.
Yeah. Everybody had to make their adjustments this year.
Yeah.
Hopefully next year it'll be a little bit different. And with the Christmas came Wonder Woman. Did you see Wonder Woman?
No, I haven't yet.
Oh, and real quick, just to go back on when you said we assume gender. So if we assume a person is a woman, but then they say they're a man, can we like that? If I'm a man and that person is a man, but I guess they were I don't know if what's the word? Misidentified as a woman. Yeah, misidentified as a woman at birth.
I really don't know how it works.
I
don't know how it works. I don't know how it works, honestly. I do have a friend who actually had a husband who had a kid with him and now has a wife. He now wants to, I forget, but he is now a she. She now wants to call this.
So like the Jenner person, Kris Jenner? Or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Whatever he
like
called
that.
himself.
So,
Yeah.
well, some people go out there and they go a little too far, is what I was trying to say, because I was trying to compare it to yelling Merry Christmas at people, or something like that. Is
Yeah.
or if someone says Merry Christmas to you, and you get really offended, like no one should be fucking offended, especially if they don't know you. If like they don't know you, like don't turn around and like correct me, like really hard. I mean, the kid in the gas station. I mean, he should have known better. If someone comes up to me and they say Happy Holidays, I'm not gonna be like, no, man, it's Merry Christmas. I'm like, all right, thanks. But if I go up to someone and say Merry Christmas, if I go up to someone and say Merry Christmas, and they're like, well, I'm Muslim. Oh yeah, my bad, man. Then happy whatever. Like I don't
know if they celebrate anything around Islam.
They yell at me. Well, if they yell at me about it, I'm just gonna be like, dude, what the fuck? Like, how the fuck am I supposed to know?
It sucks to not celebrate Christmas when you see all your other friends that do celebrate Christmas. You get a bunch of gifts. You know what I'm saying?
Comedians talk about that all the time. Yeah, Jewish comedians talk about it all the time.
But they have Hanukkah, don't they?
Like
they can still get gifts, right?
They get 8 days of gifts, but they're gifts like really religious gifts, like a dreidel. A dreidel's like a top.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what a dreidel is.
Okay. Yeah, 8 days of presents, but it's not like.
We had a dreidel at school, elementary school. It was fun. You just spin it. You know what I'm saying? When you're a little kid, you could have fun with it. Any kind of toy, and you use your imagination, I guess. But nowadays, these kids play these video games and all this other stuff.
Baby.
Yeah, you can use that as a what is it like? What you go down a hill with, like a snowboard.
Sled.
Yeah, use the.
Oh yeah.
We was using that as like a snowboard, a little cardboard box and stuff like that. But did you get a chance to
the other day?
Go ahead.
Oh, I did. Well, what I realized the other day is what you used to do as a kid is everybody would go out and try to see the new movie as soon as possible. And get their parents to take them, or a bunch of them would, go all at the same time. Because what you would do, you could go home and pretend to be those characters, until the next movie came out. I just realized that the other day. I was like, man, that's what we did when we were kids. That's why we wanted to go to the movie so bad. That's why you didn't want to be the last kid to see the movie, because you don't know who you are when you're playing with your friends. That's like being the last kid to get an Xbox. But no, I did not see Wonder Woman.
Oh, okay, I was just wondering because I saw it and just wanted to get your take on it.
There's a couple I want to see. It
wasn't that great.
I saw Soul. I heard Wonder Woman wasn't that great. I saw Soul.
Of course.
I saw.
Of course.
What?
So
I saw
what
it
was
because
Soul
they both
about?
came out. Soul's about this guy who he was a jazz musician and he died, and he's got to help. He's got to help this other newborn soul basically find their reason to want to be human. And, it kind of goes through the whole story. It was good. And that and Wonder Woman was on HBO. I don't have HBO.
Okay.
HBO Max. I don't have that. Yeah. I'm not paying for that.
It was kind of slow, man. I guess they had some good messages in there. Well, yeah, I don't know, man. This wasn't a great movie, in my opinion. So I just didn't know.
Decent, man.
Yeah, maybe I'll check it out. What?
It's kind of cerebral. It was kind of cerebral. Why'd you say? Oh, of course, I saw Soul.
Yeah, because you always try to act like you just went down with the black stuff.
It's not a black movie.
Oh,
I mean, that's what we talk about mostly on this podcast. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what I talk about on this podcast.
All right. So what other thing I just
hold on, man. Just for the first time, I saw Amistad. No, I'm kidding.
Never saw it. Yeah.
I've never seen
Oh yeah,
it.
I saw some parts where he said, "Let us free." Disgraceful. But let me see here. So another thing I wanted to talk about is I saw somebody talking about this Scottie Pippen his wife. I don't know if you know anything about this. I don't know if you up on this stuff, but basically his wife, um, she basically cheated on Scottie Pippen with Future, the rapper Future. So this was like public, right? So then Scottie Pippen took her back. Now she's dating some guy, Malik Beasley, who's another basketball player, right? So I wanted to get your opinion on this, like, because my thing is like this, and dealing with females. When I was younger, I used to think, oh, it's cool to deal with a female if she was in a relationship and all that stuff. Didn't think anything of it, but as I got older, I realized if I can have your chick, I don't want her, and if you can have my chick, you can have her. Because if she's gonna cheat on you, she's gonna cheat on me. This is what I learned, and for this dude Malik Beasley to mess with her after she's kind of been out there as somebody that cheats, it's kind of like, man, why would you do that? You know what I'm saying? Why would you even want this lady since she already proved that she'll cheat and she's disloyal? You know what I'm saying? So, what are your thoughts on that?
I think on Scottie Pippen's end, I think it's really that people are in his business and he has to act like, he cares and he has to take her back, but he doesn't want to divorce her. They probably both have an open relationship. He doesn't want to give her half his fucking money.
Well, of course he doesn't, but I mean, if she's gonna leave, then she's gonna leave.
But if he goes
and she's
out
kind of
there
humiliating
like
him,
that,
isn't she?
Huh?
I mean, but she's kind of humiliating him, isn't she?
Yeah, that's just what I was about to say. Is like, if you go out there and you do it in public like that, and everybody knows, and you do it twice, you can have half my money. Because you're going to go do it to the next person. You're going to go do it to the next person. I don't need that headache, and I'm still going to be, instead of 100 millionaire, I'll be a 50 billionaire. I don't care.
Yeah. They have kids.
Get the fuck out of here. How old are the kids?
I think the kid is like either high school or college now, though.
All right, he's grown.
Yeah.
Hey, bitch.
Yeah, I mean, might as well.
It's like, just take my money, get out of here. And it's like,
man, people will, and the divorce rate is like, in these men's groups, I do the other podcasts, and one of the guys, he was talking about like the divorce rate is like 50%. And I think a lot of it is, I told you before, a lot of people don't want to work in this country. A lot of people have been lied to during school. You don't really get taught how to pursue your dreams. You conform to a system that something is wrong with it. And then you start to try to get with people just for their resources. And then the whole time you're unhappy. You have people that come into this country and get pregnant just to be able to be a citizen in this country. And you have people that get pregnant just to get child support from these athletes and other people. I mean, we underestimate the competency of somebody and the morals of some of these people that have kids, as far as parents. We underestimate or we overestimate how the parent is actually looking out for the best interest of the child when it's not the case. You know what I'm saying? In many cases, it's not the case. And you see something like this, I mean, a lot of people are selfish. Because that's a selfish move because what is a kid? Think about what his friends and, people like that are saying to him. Like, man, he has to see this, like his mama is out here kind of thoughting it up. No judgment, but that's what the
mama out here hoeing.
Yeah, that's what the narrative is. You know what I'm saying? And they have to deal with this, and it's like it's selfish, and it's like, well, people, why are you marrying people that you don't really love, and just for their resources because you refuse to get off your butt and pursue your dreams and go through the things that other people that are successful have to go through as far as working hard and falling in your butt and getting back up. It's crazy.
But I agree with, everybody's told that they can achieve their dreams, but they're not told how to get there. and they don't realize how much work it's going to be. Think, oh yeah, they say, hey, go to school, go to college, and you could be anything. They don't tell you how much fucking hard work it's going to take, what kind of things you have to do, what kind of people skills you have to have. You know, like what the world is really like how hard you have to bust your ass. And I think that's the only reason I'm not where I wanted to be, because I had no idea about this shit. I didn't know you.
Nobody really does unless your
shit.
parents. Yeah, unless your parents or somebody tells you, and a lot of times your parents, they set you up because they like exactly, they like, just get a job. No, you need to actually get in a job will not fulfill you really. You need to be able to, and that's why you have so many unhappy people.
All the successful people I know, it's like they had those kids. They were kids where their parents made them do all this shit. And I'm like, why are you doing all this shit? Don't you know all you have to do is go to school and go to college? I mean, don't you know that's all you have to do? Why do you have to be number one in the class? Why do you have to be valedictorian in college? I mean, you're going to be fine. Everybody in college gets rich. Nope, I was wrong. You know? And just a side note on Scottie Pippen's kid, that dude can never get in an argument again with anybody because they have the old, you know, they're just like, well, your mama's out.
Yeah, exactly. It's sad. It looks like he has a daughter also. So hey, you know, man, it's crazy.
No, I think you're exactly right, man. I think number one, I don't always act like I'm down with the black shit. That hurt my feelings.
Okay, well, I apologize, man. Respectfully.
Well, I appreciate it. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, like I really don't. I think that's what happens is I'm sitting here and I'm watching these movies with people, like, and I'm watching these people, my friends and stuff. They either lock up for life, they're miserable, or some of these girls, they cannot be alone. It's like as soon as they get out of a relationship that's 10 years fucking long, they're in a new one in like 3 months.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? It's like, be by yourself.
Society is image-based. Oh, people can't be by themselves. Some people can't even take care of themselves. So how can they be by themselves? First of all, so then you have to like yourself to be able to be by yourself, and you have to, you know what I'm saying? So that's the other thing. So it's a lot of different things. But a lot of people, like I said, hey, if you can't take care of yourself, you're gonna be looking for somebody else to latch on to or leech off of. You know, some of these females, and it's not all of them. Some of them, I mean, they just go off for their looks, right? You know, and they just ride the looks until the looks wear off, and then they just settle with somebody. Yeah,
right.
And looks fade, so you kind of have to go with a person that you really vibe with, and you have to really know. Like in my own situation, like you have to really know who you're dealing with, and you know, I've had girls, you know, try to, I guess, get with me that's in relationships, but I'm like, hey, I already done did that before. If you're in a relationship, yeah, I'm not about to deal with you. It's too much that can come from it, and too many headaches, and you know.
Yeah, if I have to sneak around, I have to go to a different. Yeah, I'm not gonna know.
Yeah,
I don't want to do that. Yeah, you know,
right.
You can't pick up the phone anytime I want you to pick up the phone, or you have to go outside. You fuck that. Like, I'm not going to do that to another dude, honestly.
I'm good on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the other thing I want to talk about is the stimulus package. I don't know if you saw that Trump came out where he had pretty much listed all the trash that was in that stimulus package that both the Republicans and the Democrats signed off on, and then they tried to come back and say, well, we're glad that he did that because we've been wanting to get a number on it. And for anybody to fall for that really thinks that the Democrats or the Republicans give a damn about the people, you know, it just shows why we're still in this situation as Americans, because people want to be blind and people don't want to take responsibility or how to discipline to actually hold these people accountable. And, you know, for all this stuff to be going to foreign aid is ridiculous, and then the American people get pretty much crumbs. It's just crazy. So I just wanted to get your thoughts on that.
Number one, we don't even have universal health care when universal health care, and this is going somewhere. So universal health care, like, if we had that, it would just ruin it. It would just topple all these companies that provide health care, right? But in your paycheck, you're spending 10 to 20% when on average in other countries, universal health care is 5% of your paycheck. So you're going to save 15% of your paycheck, 5 to 15% of your paycheck. So we do not have a handle on anything monetarily in this country, number one. Number two, no, I think we're just so happy when we get crumbs that, we think that they're actually working for us when 1% of the time that we get crumbs, the other 99% of the time they're not working for us. So, no, I don't. I do like the fact that Trump won. I do think it was a political ploy or an excuse for him not to sign the stimulus. But he was like, it's not enough. Let's give him $2,000. Well, you're just saying that to look like you're a good guy. There's too much crap in this bill. Yeah, you're just saying that to look like.
But it was though. I mean, it is ridiculous. I mean, he didn't have to say that. He could have just said something, and he could have just said one thing, right? But when he listed all that stuff, it's like, what the? I think everybody was outraged, right? It was like a outrage when I saw on Twitter. It's like. But again, Twitter is like a different place than the regular world. You know what I'm saying? Twitter, because it's people that aren't on Twitter that they have a certain mindset. It seems like they kind of out of the loop. It's almost like they don't like.
I'm not on
Windows
Twitter.
98.
I keep trying to get my account back, and I can't.
They like Windows 98, and this, we on the most updated software on Twitter. For real. So, these people they get stuff late. So then you have to continue to explain to the people. And then the people that aren't on Twitter, they on the mainstream media programming, which is pretty much all lies for the most part. I won't say all lies, but, it's constructive. You kind of have to argue with these people. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't get it. They not up on it. So they arguing with you like, what the hell are you talking about? Oh, this.
I may not well get on Twitter then, man, because I'm one of those people. So it could be like whenever we have this podcast, it's like you talking to me.
Yeah, exactly. iPhone 5, iPhone 10,
7.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean. I think they was giving I think $1 billion or something like that to foreign aid for like sex changes or something like that for Pakistan or something to that extent. Come on, man. Come on. This is what our taxpayer dollars go to? Are you serious? I mean, it's a slap in the face. It's treason. It's what it is it's cowardly by a lot of Americans because it's like, well, you wanted to do this. Everybody's getting played, and you just don't want to take any responsibility and want to act like people are working for you. But go ahead, I'll let you go ahead and get the last word on it.
I will say. Yeah, I'll just say we're one of the illest informed countries, and it's really hard to know where to get your information from. A lot of people are really a lot more plugged in to their countries politically.
You think
they're
so?
A lot more plugged in. They're a lot more interested. I'm not saying all these other countries, right? But I just feel like a lot of more countries are more well informed. I'm not saying like
what country?
UK or it's a lot of the like the Netherlands, Switzerland. They seem to all know what's going on. Like, you ever see interviews with them, and the way they kind of treat their countries and the way they all participate. We talked about this before. Mandatory participation.
That's what we need is mandatory participation.
Yeah, people have their
people are too easy to just sit down and a lot of people are afraid too. In dealing with the other podcasts for dads, a lot of people are really afraid, and they're afraid to even just speak up for their family. So they definitely You know what I'm saying? So to expect them to speak up for other issues is kind of asking for a lot. But I just want to end it on this thing. What are your takeaways? Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, what are your takeaways from the year 2020 as we go into 2021?
I've learned that I can be positive through anything. I mean, there's a lot of times I was negative, but 2020 is showing me a lesson I can get through a lot of things. I can be positive. I need to be more politically aware and active, and kind of take care of me more. That's basically it. But 2020 is overall for everybody. I think if you got through 2020, man, even though a lot of us did, use it as a positive. Yeah, it sucks, but you got through it. Yeah, be grateful for what you did have. I think people could be, because a lot of people had smaller Christmases. They had a lot of things they couldn't do, couldn't hang out with their families. Might have been the last time they could hang out with the family on Christmas or Thanksgiving. May have lost a loved one. So you got to be thankful for more of the little things than all the stuff that we're used to having.